Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking with Tara. Today is Thursday, April the 4th, and I'm doing a live recording for the RHIA exam. This is April the 4th, 2012. I will be sitting for my exam in May, which is next month, actually. So I'm going over most of all of the domains as much as I can from now until that day that I come in, until that day that I take my exam in mid part of May. Anyway, what I want to do as of today is finish on statistics. We were doing some statistic type of work, and that was in a 2009 PRG. Now, if you have a 2008 all the way to 2012 PRG, that is perfectly fine. Some of the questions are changed, and that is perfectly fine. So what you may want to do is maybe update yourself and get a 2009 or 2010 PRG so that you can be in congruent with everyone else. I presently have the 2009 PRG. Okay. Let's see here. Let me turn up the screen so I can see my minutes, because this YouTube recording is also 15 minutes long in length. So I'm trying to do as much as I can in the 15-minute increment on YouTube. You can catch me on YouTube by going on YouTube, look up TaraHealthService, or just Google RHIA under YouTube, and it should pull up today's bulletin. Okay, so the last that I stopped at with the study group that I studied with was in statistics and research, which was number 63. So I'm going to pick up at number 64 in the 2009 PRG book, which is authored by, let's see here. It's this book here. Forgot who the author is, just that quick. It is one of the authors here is Patricia Schneering, which is one of the authors here in this book. Dr. Deborah J. Butts, which is my mentor here in Houston, Texas. Hi, Dr. Deborah J. Butts. And some more members in this book. So let's get started. I'm going to picked up where I left off, and that was number 63. Okay. And I think I've already done a refresher talk about how to study for your exam, how to stay up to date on the study of your exam, and how to stay in habit of it. As you can see, I'm comfortably sitting in my bed. Okay. Now, also again, let me mention that I have a 2006 Catherine Latour book. It's a green book that I have here. The 2006 that I'm studying from, that is reference material for the 2008, 2009, all the way to 2012 PRG book. And so any page that's being detailed in the PRG book for you to reference and look at is definitely in here. Okay? All right. Also, I have, reaching for this other book, Miranda John's book. And any page that they're talking about is going to be referenced in this book by Miranda Johns. So they both have the author's name and page number to help you find the answer very quickly. Okay. Now, on page 390, if you have the 2009 PRG book, And I'm going to keep recording every 15 minutes, a new recording, until I'm finished with a certain amount of, with a certain amount of questions. Okay, number 60. I'm going to start with number 65. Number 65. It says the chart above shows a normal distribution. What percentage of the cases fall within the two lines showing the standard deviation? Okay. Um, I should have already pulled out another book, but I didn't. Between -1 and +1 and either side of the mean. Is it 68%? Is it 75%? Is it 95% or 99%? And the references that they have here is the author references is by Horton, and another author references is by Cook. I don't have either one of those. Okay, so there is a chart that's right above number 65. It has a bell curve in the middle. It has -1 to the left, X, and then a +1 to the right. Again, the question says, the chart above shows the normal distribution. What percentage of the cases fall within the line showing the standard distribution between -1 and +1 on either side of the mean? Okay, so normal, if the curve is normal bell shape, then that would be the case. Um, if it's more skewed to the left, then it's a negative, uh, a negative standard deviation or a negative skew. If it's skewed to the right, then it's a negative standard deviation or a negative skew. Okay, the answer here is 68%. 68%. Now, honestly, I don't know how they derived to that answer at 68%, but that's what they said, that it is 68%. So let's go to the back of the book and see how did they come up with that answer if it is explained. And again, no, it is not explained. We just know that it is 68%. Okay. Okay, so that's a question. I'm going to put a pin. I'm going to write that down, and I come back to it, and we're going to revisit it online here. So that is number 65. Number 65 is A. That needs to be revisited. Okay, give me just a moment. Let me turn off this blue light here. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Number 66. Number 66. A transcription supervisor collected the data displayed below. What kind of data display is in, okay, what kind of data display is it? And how many errors are attributed to skipped words? Okay, number 66, in the 2009 PRG. If you have a 2010, 11, or 12, and if it says the same thing, then good, you're on the right track. If it doesn't say the same question that I'm talking about right now, you can either write this down or you can just skip it and we'll come back to it another time. A transcription supervisor collected the data displayed below. There's a chart here. What kind of data display is it? And how many errors are attributed to skipped words? Is it A, this is a Pareto diagram, 12 errors were due to skip words? Is it B, this is a bar chart, 18 errors were due to skip words? Or is it C, this is a Pareto diagram, 18 errors were due to skip words? Or was it D, this is a bar chart, 12 errors were due to skip words? Okay, so looking at this, we know that a Pareto chart have columns, they have definitions to the left, and they have definitions to the at the bottom here, and it explains fully in detail. So basically, uh, this is definitely a Pareto diagram. And the question is, it says, what kind of data display is it? We answered the first question. It's a Pareto diagram. So you want to make sure that you know your diagrams and your charts, okay? You want to definitely make sure that you know that information. All right. Now, the next question, it says, how many errors were distributed, was attributed to skipped words? Okay, and so the skipped words is categorized here on the bottom, going from left to right, and it is 12. As you can see, if you see the third bar to the going to the right, you see 10, and so you count maybe one or two notches up, and that says 12. So 12 is an obvious choice here um, in the multiple choice answer. So 12 is your choice that you want to look at. Okay, so we're moving on to number 67, and we're going 11 minutes on the YouTube. And again, as I mentioned before, I will start this over again. Okay? All right. Uh, the next section says research and financial statistics. Number 67. Um, the time period of a facility's institutional review board, which is IRB, institutional review board, or independent ethics committee, IEC registration with the Department of Health and Human Services is 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Okay? The choices are 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. The third period of a facility's institutional review board, the time period. The time period of a facility's institutional review board or independent ethics committee registration with the Department of Health and Human Services is, and again, they're talking about the time period of a facility's institutional review board or an independent ethics committee registration with the Department of Health and Human Services. Is it 6 month time period? Is it a 1 year time period? Is it a 2 year time period or a 3 year time period? So the answer is it is a 3 year time period. A 3 year time period. Um, it gives a website reference to the Health and Human Services site. So if you look in your book, you can refer to that for further details. Okay, so we're going on 13 minutes here. I'm going to wrap this up and we're going to continue on number 68 through number 70 in the next segment. Now, let me also say it is really important that you be careful not to scan through your questions. Make sure that you break down the questions with all understanding. If you scan through your questions and try to hurry up and answer them, that's where you're going to go wrong. Trust me, from personal experience, I have scanned through questions over time and time and time again, and I have messed up on my exam plenty of times. If you are a person that's taking it on your second time, your third time, even your fourth time, you are not by yourself. Trust me. Some of us have personal home issues. Some of us have personal life issues. Some of us have work situations that stress us out really bad. And it's hard for you to study and get it together and to focus because you're so used to being in a hurry. I could truly say that when you get ready to take your exam, be sure you take it in a time frame where you can get there on time, 30 minutes ahead of time comfortably, and be able to give yourself at least 5 hours. The test is 4 or 4.5 hours long, but give yourself 5 hours because it takes about 30 minutes for them to pull up the results. Sometimes it takes them 5 minutes, depends on how crowded the testing site is. And you don't want to take it on a day where you're like, oh my God, I got to get to work in the next hour. I need to hurry up. No, take off that whole entire day. Now, I'm wrapping up. We have 10 minutes. I'll see you at the next segment.